There's a saying that life is a garden and we are the gardeners. But what happens when the seeds we plant don't sprout as quickly as we'd like? What do we do when the storms come and threaten to wash away all our hard work? This is a story about a woman named Clara, a gardener who learned that the most beautiful blooms often come from the longest waits, and that the storms, though destructive, can also bring the rain needed for growth. Clara lived in a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests. Her home was modest, but her garden was legendary. It was a sprawling oasis of color and life, filled with flowers of every hue, fruit trees heavy with bounty, and vegetables so vibrant they seemed to glow. People from neighboring towns would visit just to walk among her plants and breathe in the fragrant air. But Clara's garden wasn't always this way. In fact, it had once been a barren patch of dry, cracked earth. When Clara first moved to the village, she had nothing but a dream and a handful of seeds. She had always loved gardening, but her previous life in the city had left her no space or time to pursue it. When she finally decided to leave the hustle and bustle behind, she bought the small plot of land with the hope of creating something beautiful. But the soil was stubborn, the weather unpredictable, and her early efforts yielded little more than disappointment. At first, Clara tried to rush the process. She planted seeds every week, watered them excessively, and even whispered to them, hoping they'd grow faster. But no matter what she did, the plants either withered or refused to sprout at all. Frustrated and on the verge of giving up, Clara sought advice from an old man named Thomas, who lived on the outskirts of the village. Thomas was known for his wisdom and his own impressive garden, which seemed to thrive no matter the season. When Clara explained her struggles, Thomas listened patiently, then handed her a single acorn. "Plant this," he said, "and tell me what you see." Clara frowned. "An acorn? But it will take years to grow into an oak tree." Thomas smiled. "Exactly. Some things in life cannot be rushed. Just as an oak tree needs time to grow strong roots, your garden needs time to find its balance. Patience is not just waiting, it's trusting the process." Clara took the acorn home and planted it in the center of her garden. Over the next few months, she shifted her approach. Instead of rushing, she focused on nurturing the soil, learning its rhythms, and accepting that growth takes time. She planted fewer seeds but cared for them more deeply. She stopped worrying about the results and started enjoying the act of tending to her garden. Slowly but surely, her efforts began to pay off. Tiny green shoots emerged from the soil, growing stronger with each passing day. The garden started to come alive, and Clara felt a sense of fulfillment she had never known before. But just as her garden began to flourish, a violent storm swept through the village, tearing through her plants and leaving destruction in its wake. Clara was devastated. She stood in the middle of her ruined garden, tears streaming down her face, wondering if all her hard work had been for nothing. But then she remembered Thomas's words, "Trust the process." She took a deep breath and began to clean up the debris, salvaging what she could and replanting where necessary. As the weeks went by, something remarkable happened. The garden began to recover, and the plants grew back stronger than before. The storm had brought heavy rain, which nourished the soil, and the broken branches made way for new growth. Clara realized that the storm, though painful, had been a necessary part of the journey. It had tested her resilience and taught her that even in the face of adversity, life finds a way to persevere. Years passed, and Clara's garden became a symbol of hope and beauty in the village. People would come to her for advice, not just about gardening, but about life. Clara would often share the lessons she had learned, that patience is the foundation of growth, that persistence is the key to overcoming challenges, and that even the darkest storms can bring unexpected blessings. One day, a young woman named Mia came to Clara, her face filled with frustration. "I've been trying to start my own garden," Mia said, "but nothing seems to work. I feel like I'm wasting my time." Clara smiled and handed Mia a single acorn. "Plant this," she said, "and tell me what you see." Mia looked confused. "An acorn? But it will take years to grow into an oak tree." Clara nodded. "Exactly. Some things in life cannot be rushed. Just as an oak tree needs time to grow strong roots, your dreams need time to find their footing. Patience is not just waiting, it's trusting the process." Mia took the acorn home and planted it in her own garden. Over time, she learned the same lessons Clara had, that growth takes time, that setbacks are part of the journey, and that the most beautiful blooms often come from the longest waits. Her garden, like Clara's, became a testament to the power of patience and persistence. Clara's story spread far and wide, inspiring countless others to embrace the slow, steady process of growth. Her garden remained a place of beauty and tranquility, a living reminder that life, like a garden, is a work in progress. And in the center of it all stood a mighty oak tree, its branches reaching toward the sky, a symbol of the strength that comes from patience and the abundance that follows persistence. Please like, share, and subscribe